Okay, so what I'm going to show you today is I was playing around with the Max editor just to kind of get familiar with it, and I did a 2.5K zone. I'm just going to switch over here to my screen capture. And this is the level editor in Game Guru Max. And the one thing that I did have to do was I had to delete the grass in Game Guru Max after I imported the level. And then I put down this model here, just this little house, and added some more flowers and things like that. But what I wanted to do is just zoom out and to show you this terrain that I had built. Of course, everything's fading as I zoom out. But you can see this island area. And so what I've done is I've set up, just zoom in again here. I built that in my first go with the Max terrain editor, Max Easy Terrain Editor. And what I did was I simply, you can see this is the end of the trail here. And here's the beginning of the trail here. And I just have this trail that kind of goes up and around. And then you follow it through the woods. Comes up and over these hills, through the trees. I should go up a little bit higher here. Goes up over this top of this hill ridge. Down over this hill here. Sorry, I'm back down on the ground again. Around here, across the beach, through a little bit of trees. And then all the way over here to the end where you've got your little couple of palm trees set in with your little beach house looking out onto the ocean. So basically, the only thing I want to change here in the world is I want to go to the water, and I'm just going to change the hue of it here. And I'm just going to go to a little more, just a little more bluish. And now I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to run that path quickly. And there I am, and you can see if I come to the edge of the path, way over there is those trees and the little hut in there. Like the tip of my spear is pointing at the hut right now. So I'm just going to quickly run through this so you can see what a great job this does. So if I go up this hill a little bit towards this snag, you could see the placement of the grass, and it comes in, it's all fractal grass, and it gets thicker as the guy travels through it. As I go down here, you can see it. And I chose these three types of grass to populate with. Now what I haven't figured out yet is you can actually adjust the fractal and you can line it up so you see that the terrains are different, and I can make grass on certain terrains, certain types of grass on certain terrains, certain types on other terrains, and I could play around with all of that, and I just don't know how to do that yet. So, but I'm going to run this path now. So I came into Max afterwards here and I just cleared off this path. And this is just using the default path editor in Max Easy Terrain. I just basically assigned two textures to it. And I'm running at a pretty good clip here. I'm not mistaken, the path goes this way. I should have smoothed that out more when I was doing it, but I made quite a mess. That's where I started the path. I made quite a mess figuring out how to use the path tools. But you can see where I do have two textures bleeding through. Like you can see the forest floor and this dirt texture. as on the path as I'm running past in certain areas. And I can change that too. That's all fractal values. Oh, I missed a patch. I've been erasing. And I could change that density and everything, and I could change the bleed out. This was just my very first go, and I probably should have done something smaller than 2.5 clicks. Also, you can see here where I switched the rocks out on this. I wasn't happy with the default max rock, so I actually switched the terrain here and used more of a mountain type rock, and you can see how well that looks. Now my footsteps have stopped. Oh, there we go. It's pretty gorgeous. Oh, another spot I missed with the eraser. Just take a look over there. Let's just run through these trees over here so you can get a good look at the forest. I'm going to walk through. Now, you know, I could have some deer down there or something. Oh, look, that's the creek. That's the creek area. So there's a ravine down there with a little bit of water in it. A little bit of rocks there. I could have probably changed those up, changed that slope texture or something, but that's all just stuff to be played around with. But look at how marvelous this fractal grass is. The light coming in. It's just fantastic. There's water down there in that valley again. Just run down here and take a quick look at it. Looks pretty good. Alright, back to where I am. There's my path over there. I'm going to cut back over to it. But I really like how the grass works. Like, I've got the different weeds mixed in with some colored grass. It just really flushes out the area. Back onto my path. I'll keep running here. And again, I could have done a lot to smooth this path out, but I just kind of carved it in playing around. There's a lot more I can do to learn how to make this all better. And if I look down there, you can see the little valley down there. Oh, there's a little field down there. Let's just pop over there. Yeah, see, the grass doesn't go so good on this dirt here. So I could have come in and painted that up and changed it around, put some other stuff in. Just this little field. Look at that sunlight coming through those trees over there. That looks pretty gorgeous. Back to my path quickly here. You can see the path tool in the Max Easy Editor does a pretty darn good job of putting in your base roads and paths, and of course you can narrow those, widen those, you can raise them, you can lower them. I mean, there's a lot you can do with them. It's a pretty powerful tool, and I'm just scratching the surface on it. Oh, hurt myself there somehow. I think there was a bit of a drop. And you can see where I've got the terrain blended on the path again between the different types of ground terrains. So now I'm coming up to that little valley area, that little lake in the middle. Little puddle. Take a look out there. See the little clearing, there's where I came down the path. There's the ocean. Now this is where I changed the blue color a little bit, just to make it a little more warm. And you can see that as I get underwater there's some kelps and some seaweed stuff that I've said to spawn. You can paint those as well and set their fall offs and where they go. Here we go over the beach. A little bit of grass. Again, this isn't the right grass to have on the beach like this. I'd probably change that up, paint different ones on, take my time. But again, this is just the first go around with the new tool and the improvements in the base engine itself. So it's giving me a lot more to work with for world building. There we go. We're starting to come through these more of the deciduous trees with just a few of the other ones on the beach here. Now I might make the grass fall off distance a little bit further away because, well, no, that's just how this is painted on the beach. But there's a lot to learn, a lot to play around with. Like, look at that hill though. Like, that hill looks pretty good. And of course, when I start actually building game areas, I'll bring in some of my own trees that I created, and I will be placing them also in and amongst. I have my own cedar trees and hemlock trees and things, and some willows. Because the Max engine and by proxy the Max Easy Editor, you have only a certain scope of size you can make trees. So if you want to do anything way bigger or different or funky, you have to bring in your own models. So you can see here where I've added the couple of palm trees around here. And now you can see here where I've added a lot more red flowers and things in. I was testing out here just painting additional flowers into the mix and changing the densities. And I put a few banana trees in. What I didn't do was I didn't empty in the building itself. I didn't empty the ground out there. I left it alone. I was just playing around, like I said, experimenting. And then of course the default tree textures are pretty good. Like if I walk up to this tree, that's pretty darn good, right? You can kind of see some edges, some edges of the trees on them as they wrap around, but they're not too bad. Banana tree. There's a maple or an oak tree bark. So, pretty good, yeah. Anyway, taking a little look out past my banana trees at the ocean. We're just going to pop up over this edge and take a look at where we started. I run over to here, I think I can, yeah, see over there where the tip of the spear is? I think it was right around there was where the path started. Right there somewhere. So that's where I started, and then I ran around the island here. I'll just zoom out a little bit again. So we started right there, ended up over here, and we just cut through the middle of the island. We didn't even go over to that other side, so you know you could put dungeons and monsters and whatever. And we just followed this path all the way around. Popped up over that hill, followed the path over here, all the way over here. There's that little valley with that little puddle we crossed over. And we came back all the way over here along the beach. And where's the path here? Don't even see it. It's got to be down here somewhere. Oh, that's because it's over here. I got myself turned around. There it is there. So yeah. Anyway, so that's it. I just want to give you a little tour of that. That was a 2.5 kilometer map. We only really ran around half of it. So maybe like a kilometer and a half, but we kind of looped around. So I mean, just because you can only build certain sizes doesn't mean that you don't have. Let's go to that one. Lots of room to work with, and if you design your levels well and stuff, you could totally separate whole areas and send people all over without even having to use ginormous areas. So that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to show you today. So what I'm going to get into tomorrow is I'm going to build 2 tiny little areas. I think I'm going to make them, I don't know, like half a click each, just little, maybe even a quarter click. I'm going to show you the build process in Game Guru Max, and then I'm going to try and build almost the exact same one in Max Easy Editor. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run through those 2 levels, and we're going to show you how the difference between the 2 editors and just how nice the Max Easy Editor lets you do things like blending, path making, a little better on the terrain. Maybe not quite as good at the terrain sculpting. It does have it in there. It might not be quite as good, but all the other features it has that the base editor doesn't have for you. And then, of course, you can, once you import that, you can bring it in here and you can actually edit it and make it and tweak it some more. One thing I don't know, like I said, is I had to erase the grass off the paths here. And I don't know if you can do that in the Easy Editor or not. I'll have to play around. Very early days in it, but so far I'm really impressed. So on that note, I will see you in the next one.